Councillor Bayford.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Not surprisingly, I come from a slightly different direction to the previous speaker. I'm glad to see this item on the agenda tonight, but we've only put it here because this council decided not to actually go into business with River Oak. And I'm very sorry that Councillor Wells isn't here tonight, because I think a lot of people feel that he was very influential in that decision, and I would have liked to have challenged him on one or two things. This is not here, there's no point in doing that at all. What I do think is that many people feel that there was a lost opportunity with River Oak, and the time that it took to actually bring that to a conclusion certainly won't help the chance of that airport coming back into life again. The longer it stays closed, the harder it's going to be to open it again. But at least we're going through the motions. But I hope we're doing more than going through the motions. I mean, this process seems to have sprung out of the comment that, again, that Councillor Wells made, that there were 4 interested parties. Under challenge, he couldn't provide any evidence of those 4, and indeed the Freedom of Information request asking for some information about them actually elicited the response that this council wasn't aware of any interest in the airport. So I hope they weren't just figments of Councillor Wells' imagination.
No, they weren't.
There's 2 things that really I'd like some clarification on. The due diligence process. It's my contention that right from the beginning, the biggest difficulty with this council becoming partnered with River Oak was the fact that River Oak operate in a totally different way, not surprisingly, to an English district council. And I think that there was always going to be great difficulty in River Oak actually meeting some of the due diligence criteria that this council had. I mean, when you actually examine a due diligence process, it's fine if you want to get the council roof repaired. Doesn't actually work if you're actually looking at a project that may have international interest. And I think that I'd certainly hope that if any of the interest comes from companies that are based abroad, or indeed if River Oak actually come back and take part in this process again, that there will be some recognition of the difference in the way they operate, and that we will take some actual qualified advice to actually help us understand the differences and why in fact they don't necessarily need to be a barrier to us working together. And the last question, which again Councillor Wells should be here to answer this, is that if River Oak do come back, if River Oak do want to take part in this process, will they actually start with an absolute clean sheet, or will there be history there? Because if there is, that will be a disaster. Thank you.
Councillor Bayford, in respect of your question regarding the due diligence process, I just want to confirm that it's entirely appropriate for TDC to rely on its own due diligence process, and actually one of our requirements will be that any submissions of interest will be based on English accounting rules, and that's important for us to ensure that we're applying across the board and that everybody understands the basis of how we will be assessing those documents. Any this expressions of interest process, soft market testing process, is open to anybody to apply, and it is a new process.
It's planning time.
Happy isn't the word I'd use, no.